Hey guys, I'm already sorry for my bad English. I'm doing a voice reveal here just to let you know that I love you all so much and hope you enjoyed this video.
Osamu woke up to the dull weight of Sunday sunlight creeping through the curtains. His mouth was dry, his head heavy, and for a long moment he just lay there, eyes half closed, trying to piece together how the night had ended. Bits of it came back like shards, laughter spilling too loud, bottles clinking against the table, Iwaizumi killing the last round of the game before it even started, everyone too buzzed to care and just choosing to drink instead. And then, the memory that hit sharper than the rest. Suna. The two of them alone in that room. The way the air had felt thick, charged, every second dragging and rushing at the same time. The quiet words, the closeness. The things they did in that room. The look in Suna's eyes that Osamu wasn't sure he hadn't imagined. His chest tightened just thinking about it. The phone buzzing on the nightstand snapped him back. A flood of notifications. He reached over, squinting at the screen. In the Osamu in crisis group chat. Okay, but some people left the living room and came back looking suspicious. Don't even start. Bahaha, don't deny it, Captain Pretty Boy. NGL, half the party paired off at some point. Facts. Oh, so we're not gonna talk about how Akashi didn't leave Bakuto's side once? I was making sure he didn't pass out. Sure. Okay, but if we're keeping score, Samu, you disappeared too. Shut the fuck up. LMAOO, guilty silence. Osamu groaned and tossed the phone back on the sheets, pressing his hands over his face. His head hurt, his body ached, and yet the only thing he couldn't shake was the image of Suna. The rest of the party blurred together when he tried to recall, Oikawa finally letting himself be pulled away with Iwaizumi, Tendao hanging off a Shijima until the guy just quietly accepted it, Kyoru and Kenma disappearing to who knows where. Bakuto glowing every time Akashi spoke. Semi and Shirabu gossiping every time someone looked at their crush for more time than usual. Even Sugar and his little conspiratorial smiles hadn't gone unnoticed. No, but seriously, what did happen in that room, Samu? Yeah bro, you came out looking like a kicked puppy and a wolf at the same time. WTF was that? Elaborate PLS. Don't hold out on us boy, details now. Spill or I'll start making up my own version. Fuck off. OHH, silence equals confirmation. He's not denying it. Holy shit, he's not. Wait, did he finally make a move? Impossible. Suna would have rolled his eyes into another dimension. Unless he didn't. I swear to God I'll leave this chat. Hahaha, classic guilty man move. Okay, but come on Samu, we're friends, we'll drag it out a year eventually. Might as well confess here, save us the trouble later. Consider it training for the real deal. So, did he kiss you first or what? I'm gonna block ya. Lumfu. Osamu buried his face in the pillow, heat crawling up his neck. He hated how predictable he must have looked to them, hated that they'd nailed it without him saying a word. So Samu's blushing and I can feel it through the phone. Obviously boys hiding something juicy. Yeah, want to talk? We will talk later about how Iwaizumi dragged you to the other room and all the noise we heard. Shutting up now. Betting $10 Osamu chickened out before anything happened. Oh please, I saw the way they came back. That wasn't nothing. I agree. Something shifted. Okay, then what happened? Horizontal ellipsis. Silence again. Lumeu. Spill now. Yeah, making it worse by not saying anything. Don't make me start guessing positions. Jesus Christ. Oh, so positions were involved. Shut up. Come on Samu, just admit it, not that hard. Yeah, like we all saw you two disappear. And you took way longer than 7 minutes BTW. Suspicious. Suspicious and very obvious. You're not denying it. Exactly, so what the fuck happened? Horizontal ellipsis. We kissed. That's it? Lies, absolute lies. No, that look on your face when you came back wasn't just kissing. Oh, 100% that was a different kind of glow. LMFAO Samu, you can't even lie properly. So there was more? Osamu stared at the screen, fingers hovering. He shouldn't say it. He really shouldn't. But the memory of Suna's hand on him, the frustration when the timer had gone off, the way it had left him aching, it was burned into him. Osamu, maybe it wasn't just kissing. The chat exploded. HH. Oh my fucking god. Yo, proud of you, son. What the fuck Samu? You didn't tell me this shit? That actually explains everything. Holy shit, I'm gonna pass out. Did he? Don't finish that sentence. Too late, I'm already writing fanfic in my head. Screenshots of forever BTW. I hit every single one of ya. But his hands were trembling, pulse still racing. He'd actually admitted it. Maybe not the whole truth, but enough. Enough to make his chest feel lighter and heavier at the same time. Osamu dropped the phone onto the mattress, the screen still buzzing with notifications he refused to open. His head felt like it was stuffed with cotton, but his chest was pounding too hard to blame it on the hangover. Enough. He needed food, water, anything to drag him back to normal. He shoved himself out of bed and padded down the hall, bare feet heavy against the wooden floor. The smell of coffee hit first, and then the sound of a voice he knew too well. Atsumu was in the kitchen, leaned against the counter with his phone pressed to his ear, grinning like a cat that had already eaten the canary. Nah, it'll be chill. Atsumu was saying, casual but just a little too smug. Yeah, just the three of us hanging out. Nothing serious. Osamu froze in the doorway. 3 of us? Atsumu glanced up at him then, eyes flashing with mischief. He didn't pause, didn't flinch, just kept talking into the phone like it was the most normal thing in the world. Cool, I'll text you the details. See you then. He hung up, tossed the phone on the counter, and smiled wide. Mornin', Samu. Osamu narrowed his eyes. Who the hell was that? Atsumu just shrugged, too innocent to be real. Oh, you know, just inviting Suna to hang out later. The silence between them crackled like a live wire. Well, I might have told him it was gonna be the 3 of us. But, he dragged out the word, watching Osamu's face twist. Oops. Looks like I'm suddenly real busy later. Gotta swing by Omi's place, you know how it is. He stood up behind the counter, smug as ever, preparing to run away. So, guess it'll just be you and Suna hanging out alone. Bye. He ran off. Osamu stared, jaw tight, pulse hammering. Yeah, fucking kidding me? He could hear Atsumu laughing already in their room, closing the door like the whole thing was settled. Osamu stood there, caught between wanting to strangle his brother and the dizzy, dangerous thrill twisting in his gut. Alone with Suna. Later. Not even by accident this time, but on purpose. His stomach twisted. Damn Atsumu. Always meddling. Always pushing. But the worst part wasn't even his brother, it was the fact that the thought of being alone with Suna didn't scare him. It made his pulse skip, his palms sweat, his head race. What the hell was he supposed to do? He glanced at the clock. Afternoon wasn't far off. Okay, he needed a plan. First problem, where? If they stayed here, Atsumu's shadow would still linger, even if he ran off to Sakusa's. They couldn't just hang out at his place, his mum will be there. Not exactly the vibe. But taking Suna out somewhere, where even? A cafe? Too date-like. A park? Too awkward. His restaurant? Hell no, that felt like asking for judgment on his cooking when the guy was the pickiest eater alive. Second problem, what to say. How do you even talk to someone who'd had their hand wrapped around you in the dark less than 24 hours ago? Like nothing happened. Like it didn't matter. Osamu wasn't sure he had that kind of self-control. Every sentence that came to mind felt stupid. So, yesterday, huh? Or by the way, thanks for no. Absolutely not. He'd rather choke. Third problem, food. Suna liked easy stuff, things he didn't have to think about. But should Osamu cook for him? That was intimate. Too much? Maybe. But it was also the one thing Osamu knew how to do without screwing up. He imagined pulling something hot off the pan, sliding it across the table, Suna's half smile when he realized it was just for him. Yeah, cooking could work. But, what? Rice balls? Too plain. Something fancier? Too try hard. Something he could eat with his hands? God, that was worse. How would he even cook for him when they are not at his house? Damn Osamu. And then, finally, what to wear. He looked down at himself, old t-shirt, sweatpants, hair sticking out every which way. No chance. But if he tried too hard, Suna would notice immediately. He'd smirk that lazy smirk and say something like, didn't know you dressed up for me. Osamu could already feel the heat crawl up his neck just imagining it. Simple. Neutral. That was the key. Maybe jeans and a decent shirt. Not the best, not the worst. Suna did say yesterday that Osamu looked good in black. Maybe that's the best option. Just, safe. but was safe enough? Would safe keep Suna interested, or make him think Osamu wasn't trying? Fuck, Osamu muttered under his breath, rubbing his temples. It had never been this complicated. With anyone else, he wouldn't even think about it, he'd just go, talk, eat, wear whatever. But with Suna, every detail mattered. Because every second, Osamu's chest screamed that this wasn't just hanging out. And worst of all, Atsumu had planned it exactly this way. Osamu dragged himself back to his room like a man walking to his own execution. He yanked open the closet, stared at the row of shirts, and hated every single one of them. Too stiff, too casual, too obvious. Fuck this, he muttered, stripping out of his rumpled t-shirt and tossing it across the room. Shower first. He stood under the hot spray longer than usual, scrubbing harder than he needed to, like maybe he could rinse the nerves off his skin. He replayed last night again and again. Suna's mouth on his, that slow, unbearable hand sliding lower, the timer interrupting like the cruelest joke. His chest clenched just remembering the heat of it, the unfinished weight of it. By the time he stepped out, hair dripping and towel slung low around his hips, his pulse was already faster than it should have been. He dressed on autopilot, dark jeans, a shirt that fit just right, not too loose, not too tight. Neutral, but better. He ran a hand through his damp hair, checked himself in the mirror, cursed under his breath again, and sat down on the edge of his bed. What the hell was he even doing? He was still mid-spiral when his phone buzzed on the nightstand. He froze, throat tight. It was a message from Suna. So Atsumu invited me over, said it'd be the three of us. Osamu's stomach dropped. His fingers hovered, and sure, before he could even type, another message came through. But let me guess, he's suddenly busy. Osamu blinked, staring at the screen. Of course Suna would see right through his brother's bullshit. So it's just you and me, huh? Heat crawled up the back of Osamu's neck. He gripped the phone tighter, trying to find the right words, but all that echoed in his head was the memory of Suna's voice in the dark, steady and low, and the way it had felt to want him so damn bad. Yeah, looks like it's just us. A few seconds later, the reply came. Good, I was kinda expecting Atsumu to bail anyway. Of course he would, that guy's impossible. True, so, what do you wanna do? I dunno, maybe, sit, talk, eat something. Wanna come over? My dad's not coming home tonight, we can cook something here, or order. You mean I will cook something there? Glad you know it. You can come over anytime, also, I can get the stuff for you to cook, if that's easier, don't wanna drag you out shopping. Thanks, be right there soon. Osamu's chest tightened. Going over to Suna's place, that meant he couldn't back out, couldn't hide, couldn't pretend this was casual. And the thought that Suna had already planned it, everything laid out so neatly, it made his stomach flip. He left his apartment, trying not to overthink every step. The walkover wasn't long, but each block felt like it took hours. Every possible scenario ran through his head. What if Suna laughed at his cooking? What if he burned something? What if Suna tried to flirt, and Osamu froze like an idiot? By the time he reached the door, his hands were sweaty. He took a deep breath and rang the bell. Suna opened almost immediately, leaning casually against the doorframe. The faintest smile played on his lips. Hey, I already went to buy the stuff. Come in. Osamu stepped inside, heart hammering. The place smelled faintly of home, bread, coffee, faint scent of Suna's shampoo lingering in the air. His eyes flicked around, taking in the quiet living room and the small kitchen beyond. Suna led the way. I figured you could cook here. Dad's not home, so we've got the place to ourselves for a bit. Makes things easier. Osamu nodded, still a little breathless. Right, okay. Sounds good. Suna set the shopping bags down on the counter. Everything you need is here. Go ahead, make whatever you planned. Osamu bent down to pull items out, trying to ignore the way Suna was just casually leaning against the counter, watching him. The air was calm, normal but heavy with all the tension from last night, the unfinished things, the unspoken thoughts. And yet, somehow, that made it feel even more electric. Osamu busied himself in the kitchen, chopping vegetables and arranging ingredients, trying not to think too much about the way Suna's presence made his chest thrum. Then he heard it. A soft strum of guitar from the living room, followed by Suna's voice, quiet at first, then growing.
I was fun, just a guy living on my own, waiting for the sky to fall. Then you called and changed it all. Though velvet lips and the eyes to pull me in, we both know you'd already win. Your original sin. You fooled me once with your eyes, now, honey. You fooled me twice with your eyes, and I say, Sarah smiles like Sarah doesn't care. She lives in a world so unaware. Does she know that my destiny lies with her? Are you seeing me?
Okay, Osamu called over the music, don't break anything. I'm trying to cook here. Fine, Suna said, still swaying, but only because you're cute when you're stressed. Osamu paused, hand on the knife, looking over at him. His laugh caught in his throat, a little breathless. Shut up, he muttered. Never, Suna replied, spinning once more, hair falling perfectly into his face for a ridiculous, perfect show. And for the first time in a long while, Osamu felt completely at ease.
So this will be the last video of my Between Us series. Probably the last video in a while about Osasuna 2, because right now I want to make sure the other ships get some love as well. So you guys can tell me in the comments if you like this video and what ships do you want me to make next. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you guys love it as much as I did. And that's it for now. Bye-bye.